There's no real structure to living on a boat. Sure, you figure out your maintenance schedules for all the mechanical bits, you get into a self-care routine, and you find time in all the adventuring to squeeze in 3 meals a day. But the rest of your time is consumed by doing whatever. It's pretty laid back. Unless you're like me, and you need at least a smidge of structured itinerary to your weeks to keep your mind calm. One of my goals while taking part in this drifter sort of lifestyle is learning how to let go of my need for control. I've been reading about the brain's ability to form new neural pathways, and so far I've gathered that these pathways occur naturally in response to things like injury and disease. But there's also evidence to show that with enough conscious effort, humans can intentionally rewire their brains, if you will. It's quite Pavlovian. That's not to say it's a perfect or easy practice. It takes an immense amount of concentration to convince your nervous system to chill the hell out when it's thrown into the chaotic atmosphere of doing things on the fly. But I'm working on it. We're Will and Em, and we're living on the hook in our sailboat, Appa. After years of plotting our escape from the Fire Nation, aka our day jobs, we're finally home free on the open seas. Living off the land and learning how to take life at a much slower pace, we're embarking on our monomyth with our trusty sidekick, Ludog. Grab a beer, kick your feet up, and let us take you on this wild ride aboard our sailing bison.
It's Saturday in Lamona. The bar is popping. The fishermen are fishing. We're getting the f out of here. Our friends Beluga are hanging out in the village, the Bay of LA, right over there. And we're gonna go join them. Probably be there for about 2 days or so. Quick trip. It's only 4.5 miles away. We motored at about 4.5 knots. So, it'll only take us about an hour if we motor the whole. Right now, at least around here, there's no wind, so we're gonna be motoring. There's a fishing boat right next to him here, cleaning the fish with all the birds following him. And I wonder if he's got an extra yellowtail just sitting around back there. The last time I was putting my fishing pole away, it was pretty windy, and I accidentally raised it too high up and it actually hit the wind generator. And the blade from the wind generator just snapped the tip, the top little piece right off the top. So there's not much material there to reaffix it. So I'm gonna go even simpler and just cut down this extra bit right here. So this, what was the second rung down, is not gonna be the tip. So that.
Put on your safety glasses.
Yeah.
Squint real hard.
Alright, so yeah, there's a little tip there now. The line's just gonna have to run past that to either side.
I feel like we should reiterate that it's a really cheap pole.
It's a very cheap pole. The cheapest pole I could buy on Amazon for trolling. Cheapest rod and reel combo I could buy on Amazon for trolling. All fixed.
We're gonna upgrade our fishing gear this off-season, we think, potentially. So if you have fishing gear that is good for trolling in deep sea conditions and whatnot, tell us.
Tell us. Give us your knowledge.
Drop us a comment.
Comment below.
Tell us what to buy. Tell us what your favorite rod, reel, and lure are and what fish you're catching with that lure.
Speaking of lures, I'm gonna pick one out now. Alright, fishing pole's fixed. We're ready to get back in there.
The boat isn't even on that side, Lou. You dingus.
Dingus.
Woo-woo. You're a dingus.
This is the Rapala from the gods. Which god do you think would have bestowed a fishing lure onto us?
I don't know. The god of the sea, which Poseidon. But I don't want to invoke Poseidon because he's very temperamental.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Maybe it was. I don't want to question it. Looking like it's going to be a pretty simple day in the captain's chair here. Emily's pulling up the anchor now. And yeah, very little wind, no waves, little current. And we're going 4.5 miles that way, towards that town over there. There's no obstructions along the way, nothing underwater, no shoals, no rocks. Just kind of point, get the motor's already on, so it's kind of point and motor on over there. It's a good day, catch some fish.
I came upstairs from down below, and the engine's on, so we can't hear much up here when you're down there. And the fishing line had gone off, and I went to reel it in with the line that we have, the safety line that we have, tying the rod to the boat so that if something did pull it out of its holder, we would release the rod, was wrapped around the tensioner piece on the reel, and I couldn't reel it in. So it literally unwound the entire spool on the reel.
You know, super interesting. I saw that it was wrapped around the right side. I was like, oh no, I'll just remember when I reel it in to make sure I don't caught in there. I didn't even hear it go off.
And in my stress of trying to get that undone, I had to cut the emergency line out of the tensioner. It was just a mess and very stressful because I thought I was going to lose the fishing rod because it was no longer tied to the boat.
Still fish on there.
It never fought. Will kept asking me a bunch of questions, and eventually I just kind of lost my cool. Just tired of being asked a bunch of questions while also trying to figure out the problem in front of me, and it was just too much. Too much.
Give it to me then.
I demanded that Will stop recording me, and now here I am explaining the whole event calmly now that I've had a few minutes to take a breath. Not my coolest moment, but honestly, it is what it is. It was a stressful moment for me. Will didn't know how to help, and in not knowing how to help, he was unknowingly making matters worse. That's what we get for invoking Poseidon before we left. We said his name, and he was keeping an eye out for us, and I said he was temperamental, and all of a sudden we lose our fishing lure. So, it's my fault. I did that.
Just dropped the hook here in Bay of LA, the actual village. See maybe some town houses or such behind me. While Emily was putting the chain down, I had us in a soft reverse, backing us towards the land here, towards this yellow bit. And I wanted to see the depth. So that's the shallowest area that we'll run into. So as she was letting chain out, I pulled us close to the shallow area to make sure it wasn't getting too shallow. We're at 28 feet right now. It's about the lowest it got. I think it was 26.9. But there's an 8-foot tide. We're almost at high tide. So we'll be floating around 20 feet here at low tide, which is plenty. It's 15 feet under the keel, so plenty of room. Yeah, everything's looking good. I'll back down here nice and heavy, and we should be good for the next like 48 hours.
If you watched our episode in Santa Rosalia before we made that 100 nautical mile sail into the Northern Sea, you'll recall that we utilize our time in civilization very productively. Sometimes to a frustrating degree with Will's ability to overdo the to-do list. Our time in BLA Village was no different, though our list was much smaller thanks to all the work we did in Rosalia. Let it be known out here in the very public abyss that is YouTube that, despite my complaining, I am grateful for Will's proactiveness in regards to the care and upkeep of our home. Our list is only 2 items long: refill on diesel and re-up on fresh produce. We try to rotate our spare diesel as often as we can. Once there's space in the tank, we dump our reserves and refill the jerrys. Here in the village, the closest station is about a mile, give or take, from the anchorage. That means hauling 10 gallons of fuel in the desert heat and over uneven terrain.
All right.
to you than me.
Do you want me to take the backpack?
Oh, he needs a backpack to actually take the string of the rope on the...
Oh.
So it doesn't cut into his neck.
That's a good point.
There's a little piece of plastic in there. I got the last one off.
Lift with the legs.
We'll lift with the poles. Oh yeah, this is peachy, boys.
Iron Man competition.
Look at that.
Hey, what are you training for? The people want to know.
I'm just trying to not hurt my leg. You're doing enough sailing. Could be a good problem.
How you feeling?
Doing good, doing good. Ty's telling compelling stories. Keeping the men at work.
Keeping morale high.
Keeping morale high.
Diesel acquired. Groceries mostly acquired. We're gonna go to the fruit guy who's right outside of Guillermo's, which I keep calling a marina. It is not a marina, it's a trailer park and restaurant. So we're about halfway back to the boat now. Boat literally just came into sight as I said that. And our chores are almost complete. Produce, on the other hand, is just around the corner. And because we'll be hauling out in such a short time, one market bag will do just fine. And just like that, our choring is done. I made this bag. It's cool that I get to use it now. We normally do such big provisions that we need like backpacking backpacks. So my little 2-week supply of fresh groceries. My little crochet bag.
Hello again. It's us.
We're back.
We're back. We took a very short break after putting everything away. Now we're gonna go. Now we're gonna go to the beach. You wanna go to the beach?
Alright, Beluga has just left the anchorage here in the Bay of LA Village, and we are going to be quick to follow. But we have one little problem. We let one of our boat neighbors borrow a tool that is pretty important to us, and he said he was going to bring it back and never did. So I'm about to jump in the dinghy and go get it from him because all attempts at communication have been for naught. No big deal. Will's deflating our floaty from yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the boat ready to go while she's gone.
Yeah, that way once I'm back we can just kind of... Oh, sorry, Lou. Kicked you right in the mouth. Why are you standing that close to me?
I will say that you should return your tools.
Yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, like, it's definitely a little annoying, but, like, I can go over there and get it. It's not a big problem. Even though I literally just said we have a problem. Anywho, yeah, I'm gonna go get the calipers. Will is gonna stay here, get the boat ready, and then when I get back, we are going to follow Beluga, who is just between the islands there now. And we're gonna go to Quimado for a couple days, which is a tiny little cute anchorage back towards Pescador, where we were about a week and a half ago now, I think. And stay with them for a couple days just to kind of have a last hurrah before we head to Penasco to haul out. Things are happening, seasons are ending, we are conflicted about it. But anyways, the boulder is conflicted. But anyways, here I go. Later, losers. Ah!
We are headed straight that way today. You actually, I don't know if you'll see it on camera, but beluga is right there. Oh no, definitely not right there. Beluga's right there. We're just gonna follow their path. Looks like they don't have a sail up, but we got ours ready just in case. It's about 8 miles. Take about 3 hours. Ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Let's get out of here.
I imagine it's time for sail, right?
I think so. Ready?
Yes, you can go ahead.
No, I'm already out of track.
Oh yeah.
I guess.
I'm back using my front camera. Still going really well.
Back. It's better than ever.
I can see everything. This is what happened. Beluga called us on the radio and they said, don't come this way. It's not fun.
In not those words.
Yeah, and that's if we wanted to meet them in Lamona, and Emily and I debated it for a long while. 'Cause honestly, I didn't really feel like going back to the place we've already been before, but we really like hanging out with Ty and Lynn.
Yeah, this is like our last opportunity to see them before we go to Penasco, and our paths for next year don't align very well. So we probably won't see them again after we call out, unfortunately.
Yep, so we're gonna go back to Lamona, maybe see some more whale sharks, maybe get some bigger fish, bigger spearfish. And then we'll wait out a weather window there. Wait out a weather window there to go to the islands a bit north of us.
Every time you look away from the camera, it goes,
Yip yip! Woo! Alright, we've been in Lamona for a couple hours now, had some lunch, did a little bit of resting. It's time to get on with our adventures. Gonna have a good time. Beluga called and they went straight to the bar over here. And we don't have the budget to go to the bar all the time, especially not first. Plus, I think if we were to skip the beach, the dog might have a revolt, full-blown mutiny. So we don't want that, not aboard this boat. We're gonna take him to the beach and then meet our buddies at the bar later. Be a good time.
So we're coming from Appa to the beach, and Tylen and our good friend Tim from Coconut came off the beach towards us and met us inside the beach here. We're really bad. Swarmed immediately upon beaching dinghy. And we were like, alright, well, we want to let the dog run around. We'll just tough it out. We pull up, and they were totally right. We were immediately swarmed by bees. But now they are only swarming the dinghy, and we are about, I don't know, 30 feet from the dinghy, and this is the first we have seen the whole time. So, they can stay over by the dinghy. We're going to leave and move it anyways. All good. All good. Dog's happy. We're happy.
The water is super nice. Oh, it's good. Hey, babushka.
Flag.
How's the dog enjoying it?
The babushka? He doesn't know what's going on. Now he's loving it here.
My buddy Tim just went over to Beluga. Looks like he's picking him up and then coming over here. So it's time to get the rest of my wetsuit on. This time around, I added putting my workout music on while I stretched. I thought it might like help pump me up, and it definitely did. Feeling very excited to go do some street fishing right now. Alright, enough of those headphones. Wish me luck. I missed the biggest fish of my life. Hurts me dearly. But that's alright. I ended up getting a little grouper. Not a bad haul for a little grouper like that.
Not at all. I think it's more than the last one you caught.
Over here, I've got the grouper that I caught earlier. I've just thrown it in the pan with some onions, some serrano peppers, and a little bit of taco seasoning. I got beans made from earlier today, some nice red beans, and a rice. And it's going to be a really simple meal. So it's always fun to watch what you catch become what you actually cook. And here we're taking advantage of it pretty quickly. If you guys want to come take a look. So yeah, should be tasty, healthy, sustaining. Get a couple meals out of this. Not too bad.
I'm so zoomed in on your face right now.
Nice. Hey.
So the park guard pulled up, told us that we're supposed to have like park passes to be here in the bay, which we don't have. But they told us to go back into town to get the park passes, and then we can stay here. Well, we're planning on leaving tomorrow morning anyways, so we don't intend to actually go back to town today to then come back and anchor here. It doesn't make any sense, even if it is only like 2 hours away.
Yeah, and I never committed us going to get them.
Yeah, yeah.
So they didn't like have a problem with that. They were just informing us.
Yeah. But then they also told us that we're not allowed to use our dinghy here. So we're not allowed to use the dinghy because of the whale sharks. But meanwhile, they have fishing boats and pangas that rip through here faster than our dinghy can even go. Obviously, it's not a big deal. It's just not going to like ruin our day. But just like the logic isn't all there. Seems weird. Oh well. I'm so angry right now.
My current record now stands at 8 sharks in 1 day.
But now we're doing it, I guess. And it still kind of blows my mind that we're committing.